So in your career, you had to manage not only finances, but people as well. What's been the most rewarding part of that leadership journey for you?
Um, in terms of leadership, changing people's perceptions. I had a young lad working for me in Telstra, and I was at that stage in fixed line and planning. And he was an ethnic Australian with, I think from what he told me, his heritage was Aboriginal, Portuguese, Spanish, and English.
Okay.
Lovely lad, absolute champion. But he kept playing the victim, and I was probably politically incorrect, and he wanted a whole day off to go to the dentist because they have free clinic and that type of thing. And I said, look, do you really need a whole day? And I said, Telstra, yeah, absolutely, you can have it. No question, not arguing that at all. But I'm asking you to step up and take responsibility for you, that you don't need to take a full day just because you can. And we had a long conversation, as it turned, probably spoke for about an hour about it. He was asking questions, and I feel that I've changed his attitude and his value proposition internally, so that he was no longer playing a victim. In NLP, we always have this thing: are you acting at cause or effect? And he was obviously acting at effect. I like to think I've changed him to think of acting at cause more than effect, which is
Mm,
going to be positive long term for his career.
mm. Okay, wow. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. So, Brian, you've developed blueprints for business growth. And I'm curious, what's the first thing you look at when analyzing a business for profit acceleration?
Look, there's a few things I do first. First thing is I like to get their financials. So if they're a serious client, 2 years for financials. We always sign an NDA before when we're going down that path so people feel comfortable. Uh, Next thing is I take those and I analyze them, discuss them a little bit with the client, and then put them into the five-step profit formula. Because I think that gives you a good grounding in how their business is working. Next thing I do is I just talk to the business owner about his business. Why did he start it? When did you start it? Because a lot of business owners come out of a corporate environment, made redundant pre-COVID or for whatever. The company's been taken over and the new owners put their people in. Happens so often. Um, so how did they get into that and why? So you get their reason for doing it. For example, one client, he was in corporate banking. He's now in the landscaping business. So very different career paths we can take.
Mm.
Um, we look at their industry. Is it growing? Is it steady? Or is it declining? And if so, what percentage? So, for example, my industry, coaching, that's expanding at about 13% every year. If I was to look at something like accounting, it's probably steady, maybe a slight increase. Um, like to get a ballpark estimation of what they think it's worth, assets and inventory. Um, we then have a conversation about what do they want out of the business? What's their end game? And I start introducing my four games: short game, medium game, long game, exit game, so that they start thinking outside opening the door on Monday. Once we've got to that